So last time we have created all of these elements, pieces, and we just put them inside of the website. Now we have to position them correctly on the board. How do we do that? So let's start here. Okay, I'm gonna open my text editor. Okay, just then open the index.html. Okay, now what we did was put them all inside of a div called pieces. And that div is inside the body, but I want to make some changes. The first thing I want to do is I want to rename this board pieces. Okay. By doing that, we can just take this and put them inside of the board since that's where they should be positioned. And we're going to be using absolute positioning for them all. So I'm just going to cut them from here. Okay. Then just paste them inside. Okay. Great. So I want to restructure this. Nice. Okay. So now if I just save everything here and go back, you can see that they are at the bottom because they are now inside of the board. Okay, that's nice. But I also want to do is I want to go here and apply a class board pieces piece. So it becomes easier to work with. So I can apply this class to all of them, but I also want to show you HTML element selectors. So we don't really need to do that. Since everything here is an image, we can just refer to the image instead of the individual pieces here. So I'm just going to save this. And the way I'm going to be starting to work on this is I'm just going to start by opening my style.css file. Let me make this bigger if it's not easier to see. So I'm going to start by creating the index.html file. And by the way, the server is running, so everything I do will be host reloaded. Then I'm going to go, okay, I'm going to go down. And now let's work on the pieces. I want to say board pieces. So hopefully I'm spelling this correctly. Then inside of the pieces, I want to select every image and I want to say position absolute. Now this should stack them on top of each other. Okay, great. So you can see all of the pieces are now positioned in an absolute fashion. Now we can use JavaScript in order to uh, make them work properly. Okay. One thing before I do that is I need to take the board. I want to take the board pieces. Then it is affecting the layouts a bit. Perhaps, okay, so it is fixed. Okay, it is affecting the layout just a bit. For example, if I say display none, for example, you can see that there is no more scrolling because it's not affecting the layouts anymore. So since I already want the pieces to be shown, I can also say position absolute here. Okay, so, okay, that seems to be still the case. So I think a better way of doing this would be to just select everything here. Let me just remove it completely. And instead of board pieces, I can just refer to the images. Okay, since we're not going to be having any other images, I think it's fine. Okay, so actually let's open up the index.html now and we can just remove the board piece here. So we're just going to be left with the images. But I think it is not really safe to just use the elements without a container. So I think I'm going to revert back into creating class piece. By the way, I am showing you everything here because I haven't really prepared on this. I'm trying to show you how you think of real development projects. Uh, so how you think of real solutions. Okay, so let me just, okay, not that. the pasting here is a bit awkward. Okay. So I want to do this for each piece. And HTML classes actually could be applied to multiple elements. Like the same class could be applied to multiple elements. But when we talk about divs, that might cause some problem. Sorry, when you talk about IDs, that might cause some problems. So HTML IDs actually do not apply to multiple elements. So each element, if you're giving it an ID, should be specific for to its own, and it should be unique. But classes, it's completely fine. It's actually what it's made for. So I'm just going to be finishing off here with the last couple of elements by applying the class piece. Again, this is probably not the best way, and off the top of my brain, I could think of uh, a couple of other ways in which I could do this better, but I want to just hide unnecessary complexities from you for the time being. As you develop as a front-end developer, as you get better, you will see the patterns that will improve this repetitiveness. But for now, I think it's worth it if you see sometimes the bloated boilerplate filled implementation is sometimes good to learn. Okay, so let's just save this, and if we just return, you can see now there is no more scrolling and everything is positioned in an absolute fashion. Now I want to open my CSS, and I want to go to the board, and I want to apply position relative, so that when we use position absolute, we could put them relative to the board. Okay, so currently that won't really make any difference, but if we go here and if I say top 0, left 0, you can see it should be positioned on the top left. Great. Okay. So let's remove these two. Now we could officially start with the JavaScript. What I want to do here is I want to set up the JavaScript. So nothing here. I just want to print hello from JS. Let's print this. Now I need to connect this to the HTML. So let me go here. And I'm going to put this inside of the head. I'm going to go say script. Then after this, I want to give it the source. So the source is starting from this folder, main.js. Now this won't work because HTML reads its content from top down. So from the top, it starts reading line by line. And when we read the JavaScript without giving it the context of the HTML below it, it's not going to work because the JavaScript doesn't have access to all of the elements because it's not loaded yet. So we need to put the attribute defer. This defer attribute, what it basically does is it says before loading the JavaScript file, load all of the HTML. So now all of the HTML is accessible to the JavaScript file. So just make sure you have that. Now if we return, and if I right click and go to the inspector, and instead of the elements go through the console, I have hello from JavaScript. Okay, great. So where do we go from here? So basically now we can work with JavaScript. So positioning of the elements is the most important thing at so far that we have done, right? So I want to just get all of the pieces first. So I want to say const pieces equals. I can use document, the document object that refers to the HTML document, the query selector all, which will use CSS querying to select some elements. And by using all, it will return an array. And I want to use the class piece. So now I can just console the log the pieces. Now, if I didn't use the defer attribute, this wouldn't work because it wouldn't have been loaded. But now you can see I have 32 elements, right? 32 elements. Okay, great. So I have all of the elements. Now what I can do is I can actually go to each piece for each using the for each JavaScript function. I can call it for each piece. And for example, if I console the log the piece here, you can see I have all the 32 separate pieces shown. Okay. Now what I want to do is I want to position all of the pieces. Now I can do that by saying piece, for example, uh, dot style, I believe, dot top equals 30 pixels. If I say something like this, you can see it moved up, and from up it moves 30 pixels down, which is great. And for example, we could access the attributes, right? So piece dot attributes. If perhaps this is okay, not attribute, perhaps it's attributes. Yeah, it is attributes. So attributes, and we have all of the classes, we have all of the alt source, and stuff like that. So what we can do is we actually want to use the data attributes, and those are special attributes, so you're not going to get them here directly. And we want to access the data, and we want to position them in terms of the data. And that's going to be done in the next part. So let me just remove this. We don't really need it anymore. So today we just set up the HTML, the elements using absolute positioning. We set up the JavaScript so that next time we could actually position them and move them to the perfect position where they should be. From there, it's actually pretty easy. It's just about selecting elements and moving them to specific board squares. And from there, it's just uh, showing some UI visualizations, like when you select an element, showing creating some audio and stuff like that. And after doing all of that, perhaps if we have time and if the series performs well and you guys like it, we could move on to some advanced processing to figure out where each piece could go and could not go. And yeah, so we should also work on capturing and stuff like that. Castling, it would be manual for now, but we might add it in the future. So it's a really fun project, and I hope you're enjoying this and getting value from it. Yeah, finally, just thanks you for watching. Next time I'm going to be positioning all of the elements based on their data. Uh, Thanks for watching. Till next time. Goodbye.